A seemingly harmless question by one of my eighth grade teachers launched me on a journey that would last well into my adulthood. My family had just moved back to the US from Nigeria, where we had lived for 5 years. And although it was not the first day of the school year, it was my first day of school. So I'm sitting in class, and the teacher pulls out the attendance sheet, and she reads off the first name, and then she gets to my name, and there's a pause. I didn't know she was at my name, but I just noticed that there was a pause. You know that pause. And then she starts to spell out the name, and I realize that that's me, and I say present. And she said, "How do you pronounce your name?" Now, Emem, 2 letters in my name, four letters overall, but the same 2 letters repeated again, E-M, E-M. To me, it's an easy name, but she struggled. So she asked me, "How do you pronounce your name?" And as I proceeded to pronounce it, excuse me, my name to her, she said, "Well, do you have a nickname?" And again, it was new. This was a new surrounding for me. I was new to this school, new to the city, new to the country, new to the whole environment. So I thought maybe this is something that she asks everyone. So I said, "Yeah, my aunts and some people call me Emmy." She said, "Amy?" And I said, "Yes." And that began my journey, my chameleon journey. But actually, when I think about it, that journey began a few years prior to that. See, my family, even though I was born here in the US, my family moved to England. And one of the days in school, my mom had just given me a brand new hairdo. And I was so excited to go to school with my new hair. And I got to school. The hairstyle was plaits. I don't know if you know, but individual braids hanging down my head. And one of the students turned to another student and said, "She's got spiders all over her head." And I'm deathly afraid of spiders. So I'm freaking out. And they asked me, "Well, why does your hair look like you've got spiders on it?" It took me a moment to realize that they were actually talking about my hairstyle. That was the first time that I realized that I was different. Fast forward a few years later, we moved to Nigeria, and I realized yet again that I'm different. I was treated differently, but not in a bad way, just different. I had a British accent, and so I was treated as, for lack of a better word, royalty. I was treated better than, I guess, by my classmates. "Oh, you're so special. You have this, this accent." So I was treated, everyone wanted to be my friend. So I was different. I realized it then that I'm different. So piling on the layers of being different. We moved to Houston after 5 years in Nigeria. We moved to Houston and back to that first day of school in eighth grade when the first day of school for me, when the teacher asked me, "Do you have a nickname?" And I tell her my name is Emmy. Well, that whole eighth grade year was miserable for me. I got called names like African booty scratcher. I got made fun of for my complexion, for my accent, for where I'm from. Things like, "This must be so special for you. Do you swing on trees and where you're from?" It was just a mess. And the thing about it, as I thought back about it over the years since that time, was that this was a school where many of the people looked like me, blacks and browns. And I had left a place where people looked like me, and I was treated better than, so to speak. And now I'm in this place where people looked like me, and I was made fun of. I couldn't reconcile the two. My family moved to a different neighborhood, and in high school, I was in a more diverse school with less people that looked like me and more whites and Asians. And I still realized that I was different. I was told, oh, you talk different. Oh, you're different from other Black people that we know. And this carried on even into high school. But all this time, I still maintained the name Amy. It wasn't until after I graduated from college that I decided that I wanted people to say my name, the name that my parents gave me, the name that I had been proud of up until that time. So, what am I saying? What does this mean? Our society tends to welcome and embrace, we embrace differences as long as they fit into certain things, certain boxes. They check certain boxes that we set for ourselves or we set for other people. To my 8th grade self, if I were to go back and give her some advice, I would say, Emem, you don't need to change your name. You don't need to change your accent. Dear Emem, you don't even need to change your hairstyle in order to fit in. You don't need to try to blend in. I thought that blending in meant belonging all those years. And so I wanted to blend in so badly. I did not want to stand out. I would tell my 8th grade self, you don't need to blend in order to belong. And to that 8th grade teacher, I would say, try to say the name, try to read it. You're a teacher after all. Try it. And if you slip, I'm here to correct you, but let's try to say people's names. Let's not try to give them another name that we can pronounce that's convenient for us. How do we help people belong? Simple things. A simple thing such as trying to pronounce somebody's name can go a long way. And so I realized then, as I realize now what I did not realize then, and I want to encourage anyone that is listening, anyone that feels as if you've had to change something about yourself in order to belong, don't. Stop. You belong as you are. Your name, where you come from, how you choose to wear your hair, the accent. Everybody has an accent. You belong. And so, my name is not Amy, although my closest friends from college still call me that, but I'm okay with them calling me that. Why? Because they know me as Emem. They met me as Amy, but they got to know me as Emem. And so they interchanged the name. My name is not Amy. My name is Emem Washington, formerly Emem Akbafion, my given name by my parents. I no longer try to fit in. And the moment I stopped trying to blend in, I found that I belonged, and I found where I belonged. Thank you.